Howdy. I'm the guy that found 28 pounds of the asteroid vest at the Boston impact site. And then I went to the people that you're supposed to go to for that kind of help. But before I do that, I want to point out right here, those are ravens that are having some nice food. I mentioned before in my videos about my lucky relationship with my ravens. Oh, that's Mama. Hey, Mama. I don't know if they're camera shy or what. But anyway, so while we do this little video, I'm going to go someplace warm and do an outline. But one of the things I wanted to show you all is maybe some of you have received one of these. That's just a little stone meteorite. And it gives me a description here. Now, I got this back from, let me grab my facts. The football. So, tell you what, let me pull out the WXRFXRD dated November 3rd, 2020, and get that out of the way because there's so many facts in here. I'm trying to get to the good stuff. Because we meteorite finders are told to do certain things, and there's certain companies and stuff that do this testing for us. And what I found through Meteorwronged is outstanding. It would seem that there might have been a systematic method being used. Here we go. Let me put this other stuff back. Now I found this rock, and I knew what I found that night. And I thought, well, I am an unusual person, but I know every rock on this mountain, and these don't belong. And I looked them up online, and you can see that in a video I did. I just re-released it under the Meteorite Files. I capitalized each letter of the beginning of each word just to make it easier. I don't know. Make it more important. You're in my current studio. So this is emails, test results, contacts. Okay, let me look at the right screen. Okay. Meteoritetesting.org. Maybe we've heard of those. Let me take the little clip off. And we'll go one staple at a time. So this is, maybe some of you recognize this. See, who's it from? Meteoritetesting.org. The War and Peace Report. This is from CMPSLU. Okay. Okay, that's another one. Is this all the testing? Let's see what we have here. New England Meteorological Services. I looked at the data. Now I have not physically examined this, and I'm only going to go on the data you sent. This is not the chemistry of a meteorite. There are no meteorites with C at 7%. The highest is around 4.5. Mg is depleted, not so in meteorites. Al is also too high. Fb is too high, and Ni is at the ppm range. I don't know what it is, but it's terrestrial, and I suspect that it has undergone a refractory process to get numbers like this. You're right. It was impacted in space. It sure was. So that was one thing you were right. And that's 12,620. It goes on to say this is Allen Hall Lab Services, J. Allen Hall. Let's make sure, I'm not making this up. You can freeze frame, but the red is. Um, see, this is Cascadia. If you want to email the XRD SRF, it's XRD XRF data and better images, I will do my best to evaluate what you might have. Please do not send any samples at this time. ASU, I would be interested in seeing some images of the find, but often it can be difficult to tell the meteorite just from a photo. I would be interested in seeing your data as well. The American Museum of Natural History. Thank you for reaching out to us. We appreciate your interest in meteorites. At this time, the best way to proceed would be to email us high-resolution images with the same sample. Please make sure that you include images of the whole object with scale included. You can feel free to also include digital copies of XRF, XRD analysis work conducted. Thank you, folks. That's very nice of you. Now, here's the rub. I had multiple strokes. My business partner, my contractual life partner at the time, was in charge of the San Francisco Department of Public Health, and we were in the middle of a pandemic. Remember? So while he was losing his mind, he was also my business office manager because I have disabilities. I cannot stay in contact on this. Even now, I have no access to my Facebook account. After waiting 30 days for someone to come over and find the preferences tab for me and fix me and get me back online, my little dog stepped on a key and now I'm back off Facebook. I made so many attempts to call you and explain to you. My WXRF and XRD was in a zip file that I needed to attach to an email and send to you, but I was incapable of sending an email due to the location where I was at. That's the impact site at 4,400 feet up this mountain right here. It's that way 7 miles. So while I was having difficulty getting help with that from my partner, who refused to believe, even though my science proved it, I borrowed virtually all the money overnight using the Korea tier, which is at the University of Mexico right now, as collateral. Been there over 2 years. Well, it's at the Center for Stable Isotopes, I think. I don't know because I have no access to my emails or my contacts or anything else because I'm disabled. And I've been cut down every way, shape, or form because of my pain and because of my unbelievable story. So that would have been great, and I eventually did get all that to you. Eventually, it took some time. But by that time, you were so busy saying I couldn't be right. See, what the heck is that? Well, this is a new one. Well, this was written from my buddy Thomas. Thank you, Thomas. It's after several months of research in physical microscopy and finally the XRD XRF scans do agree with Mr. Spake's initial classification of Martian augite basalt conclusions, which go. Now, it's not Martian, but that particular rock I believe to be a howardite. I believe it was represented. It was for sale for $500,000 for a 49-gram piece by a reputable dealer, and he had every reason to defend his claim of what it was. But I matched it molecularly, photographically, right down to the grain. And according to me, that's a howardite. Now, as I understand basaltic meteorites and things like that, they come from Mars and the moon, and the Earth is basaltic. Hawaii is. The Northern California coast, basaltic. Even here, it is in areas. So that's one of the things I wish to tackle here on Meteorwronged, is to check that man's status and see if he was advertising the right thing or if he's blowing smoke up everybody's butt. Now, New England Meteorological Services, are they the ones that sent me this back? Anyway, I don't want to bore you with all this. Yeah, thank you. At one time, I did have somebody helping me with this. My best friend, Thomas Donahue, and he wrote some very clear emails, and I think I simply need to just copy them. I've been seeking assistance with this, explaining that I have a communication problem since I found it. And I'd been so isolated in my life after halfway through escrow. Keep in mind, I had to own the property in order to claim the meteorites and the mineral wealth on the property. So that's why I bought it. Now, I used 3 people to get that. Okay, I don't walk around with $175,000. And it was a hard money loan, unfinished home. But yet I evaluated it that night after bringing home some samples. I went back on 6/3, picked up the rest, took them back to protect them from the weather and protect my investment. I put them in safe storage as I analyzed them, and I posted all of those videos. So when you look at that video, American Meteorite Service, the Meteorite Files, AMS 531-2020, and then 531-2022, in photographs ever since I lost my ability to remember. And that's been 20, 30 years now. So I have a million photographs. I've created 5,223 videos regarding this subject. They're not online. They need to be edited. I have put the trauma that this has put me through online under my other name, Jeffrey Spakes, or Spakes Art, the artist. Yeah, you've gotten to see what has occurred to a very fine human being who's worked his butt off to help others, not himself, no, and has a lot of brain damage. I have literal brain damage. They've scanned my brain. I've got all these holes and stuff, and that's a whole nother story. So I'm doing the best I can just to communicate now. So what did I learn? I taught myself YouTube. I couldn't even speak. I couldn't speak without screaming and yelling. So I taught myself YouTube, and that took a long time. And when I finally got 5G up the hill at the impact site, which I think took 2 years, I'd been abandoned up there. I'd been literally abandoned. My partner disappeared. I got to speak to him 3 times after I asked Les and Bob to come help me because my partner had a stroke and he was a different person. I explained to them, I sent emails, I was gaslit all along as they just collected interest and then escorted my partner who couldn't think, he couldn't even talk to me. I saw him 3 times. There's videos online called Scumdog Millionaires where I caught them, and you can see the behavior of these predators. So I created this channel not only to bring my meteorites to history and to create a money machine that's going to generate money to help support this incredible art place that you're seeing right here. This non-profit art school. Okay, all of that gets to support this. Okay, I don't have much time left in my life. I've had multiple cancer surgeries. I know my physiology. I know my makeup. This continued argument and request for people to assist me in this. Leave a comment. Do you have a skill? You want to help in this channel? I'd appreciate it. I'd appreciate you stepping up now and saying, yeah, I got some skills. I'll help. Let's build a channel because people are asking me for help. I know others that have sent rocks to the same institution, and they knew what they had, and they lost their minds, their friends, their family, just like I did. Exactly like I did. So when the scientists were stealing meteorites, possibly, who knows, whoever what was doing what, when you sent in a sample, they might have called you and said, it's not a meteorite, I will not test it. Or in my case, it's not a meteorite, I will not test it. You can see those videos online as well. So also, if you wish to purchase any of this or invest in it, the next stages are simple. Now that I have it tested, now that I have it classified, I need one person to handle the go-between so that I don't have to talk to my obnoxious ass, write beautiful emails like this, and get the ball rolling. Because we've got rocks in Michigan, we've got rocks in New Mexico, we've got rocks right here, we've got rocks up the hill. And this needs to happen soon. Okay, there's no reason that this should not continue. You look up the latest video, the Meteorite Files classification at last. And then you can see another video I posted after that that's 7 months before I classified it. Damn me. Who the hell am I? I'm a scientist who figured out that you're giving me lots of money for my art. I'm someone with a lot of wisdom and a lot of heart and not much else. Because I get to be bullied. I get to be bullied by the scientists, by the dealers, by the auction houses, by my partners, by society, because I can't remember yesterday. So every day I wake up, it's Groundhog Day. Okay, so what were we doing yesterday? Because I'm used to having a personal assistant. I've had one for 30 years. My partner, who had a stroke while we were in escrow, my partner in the investment of this impact site, which is worth priceless, now covered in 5 feet of snow. My partners in that decided that they couldn't believe me either, that they couldn't believe the WXRF XRD, that I would understand how to read that. Who are you to judge me? How do you know what I know? I can build anything out of anything, and I do and have. I design buildings. They get built, commercial, residential. How is that possible with a kid that did not go to school? Curiosity. That's how. I've always wanted to know more, and I followed that into quantum physics. Am I licensed quantum physicist? Put it this way. Quantum physics confuses the hell out of me, but I understand it. Those of you that know will understand that, and that's a good way for me to leave this. So this is just the start of many more. I apologize for not having teeth, but when you're abandoned for 3 years by the people you trusted most, you have cancers, and you have other disabilities such as pain and agony, and been kicked out of your fabulous house for no reason. And where do you see the lawsuit? I just could not contact anybody. I could not contact anybody or get anybody to understand and go ahead and help me. I'm so irritable and ugly that no one can step up, or I'm just Mr. Unbelievable. But either way, I come with my own shooting star, and I have a story to tell. I found that shooting star when I said to Spirit, okay, Spirit, how do we get to live here? Spirit said, take pictures of the rocks. I did. It's all documented. There's nothing you can prove wrong. A damn thing. To try to prove me wrong proves me right. Thank you very much. Sorry, I'm in a lot of pain. That gives me attitude. And telling this story over and over makes me sick. Literally, I have CPTSD. So every time I repeat it, it just drives another wedge in that wound in my brain, which is a physical open wound. It's not a thought. It's a physical wound that has not been allowed to heal. And for that, I'm holding everybody accountable along the way that stalled and lied and refused to accept anything. Oh man, Where do you hear what I had to go through to get this thing done? Where do you hear? And those of you that all those institutions, CMPSLU, University of New Mexico, Dr. Carl Agee, it's Jeffrey Speights. Hi. Hey, Zach, it's me. Dr. Blakely, thank you. I could not get Bruce to stay one more day, so I would have had a chance to talk to you. So now that we know what's going on and we know what this is, can we bring it on home? Okay, there's some been classified in Michigan. How about you finishing that one that's there in Dr. Karen Ziegler's office? It's known as the Coyoteer. It's the most photographed one I have, the most views as well. And for you subscribers, please share this with your scientific friends. I will get better, I promise. I promise. I'm just so frustrated. And I want to get on to the science because that's a lot more fun than me. I know these rocks, I know these mountains. That's how I knew what I found immediately. It was as unbelievable to me as it is to you. But the fact that its serial number is AMS 531-2020, and I happen to, and that's it fell on 12/29/2020, came from Catalina over and landed in San Jacinto Mountain. Okay, it's been videoed by Bob Lunsford and was seen by hundreds of thousands of people, reported by 104. Someone even right here in Palm Springs and behind me in Cathedral City, which was where my studio was at the time, my gallery, Speights Art. Have a look. I'm Jeffrey Speights. I'm a scientist who figured out that people pay me lots of money for my art. My science is the earth. It has been ever since I was a little kid, bringing home poison mushrooms because they were pretty. I had no idea. I'd put them in a glass in the window. Peace.